I'm so excited to see this movie. Yeah, it's gonna be good. There's a lot I don't understand about the Mexican culture. Yeah, like the day of... Oh, sorry. But the day of the dead... Okay. But you see all the cemeteries? Why are they celebrating? Yeah, but look at the fireworks. Why are they celebrating dead people? I don't get it. And that lady, why is she spreading flower petals on the ground? There's just so many things I don't understand. Yeah, there's a lot. What are these paper things? What are they for? Whoa. Now what are these guys? They look like they're having a lot of fun. So colorful. Yeah. And don't look sad about being dead. Looks like a big party, yeah. Look at that guy jumping. I wish I could do that. Maybe Mr. Walker could teach me. Yeah. Hey, look at them dancing, doing the rope thing. That's amazing. Hey, look at that guy watching. Oh, I love the Marathi band. Yeah. Oh, that's Miguel. Look. There he is, right here. Oh, he just gave that guy his jaw back. Oh, wow. Oh, look, they like him. He's like the hero. That was awesome. Pixar's Coco follows Miguel Rivera, a young boy who wants to be a musician like his grandfather Ernesto de la Cruz, but unfortunately his family doesn't like music. However, on Dia de Muertos, Miguel is transported to the land of the dead, where he tries to find his grandfather to help him get back to the land of the living. Now, what are these orange flowers? Who is De La Cruz? And why is his dog so weirdo? Yeah, so I'm going to try to solve all these clues and try to get some answers. And we're going to look at Coco for some references of what is the Day of the Dead and what of all these traditions and how do they work. Alright guys, let's get into it. With the help of Pixar's Coco. Here we go. Number 1. What is the Day of the Dead or the Land of the Dead? Dia de Muertos. Dia los Muertos is an indigenous Mexican holiday that's celebrated in Central America and Mexico, but due to its popularity, it has spread to North America and all around the world. The origins of this holiday can be traced all the way back to the Aztecs and the Mayan cultures, where they celebrated life and death and how it was an integral part to their journey through this world. The two festivals that they celebrated was the Small Feast of the Dead and the Great Feast of the Dead. Those are hard names to say though. Eventually, this holiday became known as All Hallows Eve or Halloween, which is still celebrated to this day. But in Mexico, it is celebrated as the Day of the Dead. A totally different type of celebration and a different type of holiday, which is celebrated on November 2nd, where Halloween is celebrated on October 31st. Now, what makes the Day of the Dead different is that the Mexicans celebrate in an upbeat way where we're celebrating life as a joyful occasion and not focused on the morbid part or the sad part of death. It's a celebration of life, family, tradition. There are many traditions that are taking place during this holiday that show up during the movie of Coco, like altars that we see here, which serve more as an offering or an ofrenda to the family. Now, the altars are set up very different from region to region, and they often put photos of their loved ones, and they also put candles and memorabilia, and also some of their favorite food. Yum! Ooh, that looks good. And candies. The altar is covered with skeletons, establishing how their loved ones are connected with the land of the dead. The altars are often lined with candles and incense to help the dead lead them back to the altar. Also hanging around them are paper banners called papel picados and sugar skulls, because it's sweet, and the famous flower called marigolds. So sweet. Help guide them to their altar. From their grave to their altar, there is a trail that leads them there, like the bridge in Coco, which is also made of marigolds. Now, many, the graves are also adorned with candles and things, just like the ofrenda. They think of it kind of like a gateway for the loved ones to enter into this world and visit with their family in a celebration. Now, some of the celebrations may include wearing costumes and makeup and dances and parades. It's just one big party celebrating life. Now, no matter how they celebrated, there was one thing always consistent: the skull. It's a symbol of death, but also life. Now, the calavera, or the skull, originated from the Aztec and Mayan cultures that were used in rituals and part of their culture and symbols. Another reference to the Mayan and Aztec culture is the way that the underworld is depicted in Coco. The references to these cultures are pretty obvious when you can see that the marigold bridges go to a base of the underworld which look like Mayan or Aztec temples. Number 2, who are these famous dead guys? Now, in Coco, there's a lot of famous people. The first of all is De La Cruz. Now, who is De La Cruz? Now, I'm not going to reveal anything about the movie, but there was a famous musician that he was based on from Mexico. His name is Jorge Negrete. And like Ernesto, he left the land of the living way too soon in 1953. And he's still considered to be one of the greatest singers of all time in Mexico, and revered by many as a national hero and legend. Another iconic Mexican Miguel runs into is the famous artist Frida Kahlo. She is a famous artist who was married to Diego Rivera, another famous artist. Now, even though she wasn't famous during her lifetime, she has become very famous with her surrealist artwork throughout many famous galleries all across the world. And what about this? Proud luchador, or wrestler, is what we call him in the US. The silver mask tells me that it's El Santo, a famous wrestler whose wrestling career spanned over 5 decades. Number 3, what are those multicolored creatures and why are they in the movie? Well, they all started with a man named Pedro Linares. And he got really sick one night and he had these bad dreams. And in his dreams, he saw these creatures with fantastic colors and pattern all over him. So the next day, he made them out of paper mache, and he sold them in the market. Now, they became so famous that they have now become a national, iconic folk art that's celebrated throughout all of Mexico in the markets. Number 4, what is up with that weird dog? Now, Dante is a Mexican hairless dog. Now, that dog is a very weird dog, but the Aztecs and the Mayans believed that those dogs would protect them against evil spirits. It's also the national dog for Mexico. Now, most people around the world just think it is the weirdest looking dog of all time. But, you know, some people think they're kind of cute. Well, I hope Coco and Mr. Stolt and I helped you learn a little bit about the Day of the Dead. Bye-bye. See you later.